what is GST. Okay, when the GST was introduced, and what is the advantage of having GST for business, for industry, and for the consumers, and to the manufacturer we have seen. And then we have seen what are the different types of GST tax collected. Okay, so these are the concepts which we have seen in the previous lecture. Okay, in today's lecture, we will be learning about how the levy and collection of GST is happening, and what are the provisions which is governing related to the levy of GST, and what is mean by mixed supply we will see. Okay, and if time permits, then we will see what is the provision which is available for composition levy also we will see. Okay, so first we will understand what is mean by mixed supply. Okay, I'll just share the screen. Okay, okay. So we'll see what is mean by mixed supply. Okay, ma'am. So உங்க GST Actல section 2 subsection 74ல மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளைனா என்ன அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. ஓகேவா? ஸோ மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளைனா என்ன அப்படின்னா ஏதாவது டூ ஐட்டம்ஸ், ஓகே, டூ ஆர் ஏதாவது ஒரு இண்டிவிஜுவல் சப்ளை ஆஃப் எனி குட்ஸ், ஓகே, இல்லைன்னா வந்து அந்த காம்பினேஷன் ஆஃப் எனி குட்ஸ், ஓகே. ஸோ தட் போத் த திங்ஸ் வில் பி டாக்ஸபிள் டுகெதர், ஓகே, இன் அ சிங்கிள் ப்ரைஸ். ஓகே, ஒரே ப்ரைஸில் எனி டூ கமாடிட்டிஸ் வந்து டாக்ஸபிள் ஆச்சு அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு நம்ம வந்து மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளைன்னு சொல்லுவோம். Where the supply doesn't have any composite supply. Composite supply means any additional supplies if it is not available, then it is called as mixed supply. Okay, so mixed supply na it means two or individual supplies of goods or services or any combination conjunction with each other by taxable persons for a single price. That we call it as a mixed supply. Okay. So இந்த mixed supplyக்கான tax liability எப்படி கண்டுபிடிப்பீங்க அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அது வந்து உங்களோட section 8ல வந்து they have defined how to determine the tax liability for the mixed supply. Okay, ஸோ நீங்க நம்ம மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளைனா என்னன்னு சொல்லிட்டோம். தட் இஸ் உங்களோட இண்டிவிஜுவல் ஒன் ஆர் டூ இண்டிவிஜுவலோட காம்பினேஷன் ஆஃப் டாக்ஸ் பேயபிள் ஃபார் அ சிங்கிள் ப்ரைஸ் தான் வந்து மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளை. ஸோ இந்த மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளையோட டாக்ஸ் லைபிலிட்டி எப்படி கால்குலேட் பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து காம்போசிட் சப்ளை will be treated as the primary principal supply. Composite means any two other more supplies will be taken as the main supplies. So on the main supplies, based on that main supply, they will classify what is the tax liability. Okay, that is first thing. Second thing, whatever the goods which is supplied under the GST, whichever is having the highest tax rate will be considered for the tax liability. ஸோ இப்போ நான் 2 குட்ஸ் சப்ளை பண்றேன். ஸோ 2 குட்ஸ் சப்ளை பண்றதுல அந்த 2 குட்ஸ்ல எந்த குட்ஸ்க்கு வந்து ஹையர் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட் இருக்கோ அந்த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் ரேட்டை பேஸ் வச்சு நான் டாக்ஸ் லைபிலிட்டி பண்ணுவேன். சப்போஸ் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு 5% ரேட்ல ஒரு குட்ஸ் நான் சப்ளை பண்ணிருக்கேன். இன்னொன்று வந்து 12% ரேட்ல ஒரு குட்ஸ் சப்ளை பண்றேன். ஓகேவா? ஸோ இப்போ இது ரெண்டுத்துல எனக்கு 12% ரேட் தான் என்னோட ஹையர் குட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு இருந்துச்சுன்னா அப்ப நான் 12% ரேட்டுக்கே வந்து அந்த 5% ரேட்டுக்கும் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் பே, அந்த 5% ரேட்டுக்கும் டாக்ஸபிள் 12% கட்டி பே பண்றதுதான் வந்து மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளை குட்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறது. மிக்ஸ் சப்ளை குட்ஸ்ல டாக்ஸ் லைபிலிட்டிங்கிறது அப்படி இருக்கும். ஓகேவா? ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் அபவுட் த டாக்ஸ் லைபிலிட்டி ஆஃப் த மிக்ஸ் சப்ளை. ஸோ மிக்ஸ் சப்ளையோட டாக்ஸ் லைபிலிட்டி என்ன இருக்கும்? அவுட் ஆஃப் டூ குட்ஸ், whichever goods having higher interest rate will be taken for the tax liability in case of your mixed supply. Okay. So this was defined under the section 8 of your GST Act. Clear, students? Mixed
yes,
supply
ma'am, can you? Ma'am, I have a doubt.
So, yes, please.
Ma'am, can you give any proper example for the first one, ma'am? Like because I understood it, but like any example for the first one, ma'am? Like
that is composite supply in treatment as a principal supply. For that?
Yes, ma'am.
Composite supply is treated as a principal supply. Second example, புரிஞ்சுச்சா?
Yes, on the second one I understand. Only the first one I had the doubt.
Only the first one you have a doubt. Okay. Okay. 1 second. I'll give you an example. Okay. See, basically, composite supply அப்படின்னா where if you're supplying two goods. Okay. So, இப்போ 2 goods சப்ளை பண்ணும்போது அந்த 2 goods சப்ளை பண்ற இடத்துல ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் கூட்ஸை வந்து நீங்க மெயின் கூட்ஸா நீங்க சப்ளை பண்றீங்களா? ஸோ அந்த மெயின் கூட்ஸ் சப்ளை பண்ற அந்த கூட்ஸோட பர்சன்டேஜை வந்து நீங்க மிக்ஸ்டு சப்ளைவா எடுத்துப்பீங்க. சப்போஸ் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நான் வெஜிடபிள்ஸ் அண்ட் I'm a dealer of vegetable as well as I'm a dealer of some FMCG goods. Like for example, washing powder, sorry, dry fruits எடுத்திருக்கேன். Okay, I am a dealer of fruits as well as dry fruits எடுத்திருக்கேன். ஓகேவா? ஸோ எனக்கு ஃப்ரூட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு நான் வரும்போது my interest rate will come to 5%. ஓகே, அண்ட் நான் ட்ரை ஃப்ரூட்ஸ் டீலரா வரும்போது 12% இருக்கும். ஓகே, ஸோ காம்போசிட்ங்கிறது என்னது? நான் 2 or more goods and services அண்ட் டூயிங் த சப்ளை. ஓகே, ஸோ நான் ஃப்ரூட்ஸ் டீலராகவும் இருக்கேன், நான் ட்ரை ஃப்ரூட்ஸ் டீலராகவும் இருக்கேன். ஓகே, ஸோ இந்த ரெண்டுத்துல வந்து நான் எது மேஜரா பண்றேன் அப்படிங்கிறது பிரின்சிபல் சப்ளை. ஸோ பிரின்சிபல் சப்ளைங்கிறது விச் இஸ் த கோர் ஒன் விச் ஐம் கோயிங் டு டெல். either I will be a full-fledged dealer of a dry fruits, but I will also supply fruits அப்படிங்கிறது. ஓகே, ஸோ இந்த ரெண்டு மேட்ச்ல which is my primary core, I will take it, and based on that core, what is the core interest rate will be considered for paying the GST rate. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is all about the mixed supply. Okay. So mixed supply the 2 or more supply of the goods, whichever will be primary will be taken. Okay. And tax deductibility வந்து நீங்க எந்த primary goods இருக்கோ அதுக்கு tax liability GST basis பண்ணலாம். Second, அந்த ரெண்டு goodsல whichever is highest அதையும் நீங்க வந்து pay பண்ணலாம் under the mixed supply. That is the first thing. Second thing வந்து how the tax liability of GST will be taken. So that is the second part. 1 second, students. 1 second. Next one is provisions relating to levy and collection of G- CGST. How the central sales goods and service tax will be collected and how it is levied, that we will see. Okay. So this provision is classified under section 9 of your GST Act. Okay. So in case of levy and collection of your Central Goods and Service Tax Act, okay. So the levy for this CGST will be taken when you are transferring the goods in the within the state. That is, when the goods are supplied with the interstate or or both exclusive of supply of liquors for consumptions, all will be coming under the CGST. Okay. So in case of CGST, the levy value will be considered based on the government norms. So as and when the government changes the collection pattern or changes the interest rate, based on that, the CGST rates will be given by the government. Okay. And the collection also will be specified by the GST Acts every now and then as per the norms. Okay. And in which the paid by the taxable person. Taxable person in the sense whoever uh, is the ultimate consumer, or that person will be the taxable person in case of GST Act. Okay. And what is the essence of levying of GST? Okay. Levying of GST. First one, you should be delivering any goods or services. Either goods or services should be used for the supply, or both if you are doing, then you will be applicable for GST. Okay. Either you will be supplying the goods or either you will be doing any services like doing repairs or maintenance. In that case also you will be covering under the GST. Or if you do both, you supply goods as well as for that goods if you do services also, you have to pay GST. Okay. So essence of levying of GST is what are the situation under which the GST will be applicable is will be classified. Okay. First thing, you have to supply goods. Second thing, you have to do any services. Or if you do both the things, then in that case also you will be charged GST. Second case is where if you are doing any supplying, you are not selling any goods, but you are just distributing any goods, like a middleman if you are there. Then also you will be charged GST because you are just handling the goods uh, to reach the ultimate consumer. So you will be acting like a distributor. So in case of distributor also, you will be having a tax. So tax under forward mechanism. So based on that, you will be charged the tax. Okay. So for the suppliers also, the tax will be levied. Third condition is when the hands of suppliers will be given, and in when you are giving the when you are acting as a distributor, you will be having forward mechanism also you will be having, and you will be having a reversal charge mechanism also will be given. That means you are just exchanging the goods. You are not be a manufacturer or you are not be a wholesaler or retailer. So in that case, you will pay and you will be getting the reversal of taxes. Okay. So that is the third provision. Next is when you are um, sending the goods outside the state. Okay. So in that case, then you will be charged with your central GST Act. Okay. So when the goods are interstate. Okay. So when you are supplying the interstate goods, then you are liable to give for your CGST. Okay. Third condition is where the rate of tax of GST rate changes based on the government recommendations and council, and the value of supply will be based on the suppliers invoice what they are giving, and tax is payable by the taxable person. So these are the basic essentials of levy of GST. Okay. So on these particular terms, your GST will be levied. Okay. What are the basic particular terms? One is you have to either supply of goods or supply of services or both. Second, you will be acting as a distributor. So in that case, you will be getting forward mechanism as well as reversal charge. When you are sending the goods to the intrastate also, you will be charged GST, and the rates of GST will be checked based on the GST notifications. Okay, and the GST tax will be based on the value which you are supplying, and the last one is taxes payable by the taxable person. Okay, so these are the seven norms which you will have when you are levying the tax to the GST. Clear, students? Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Rate of tax, value of supply, and the last one is taxes payable by the taxable person. Okay. Next one is, what about the GST for your petroleum products? CGST on petroleum products. See, for your petroleum products, the CGST is levied under your section 9, subsection 2 of your GST Act. Okay, so under the GST Act, section 9 has defined how the petroleum products GST will be classified. Okay, so in the notification, the council has recommended that for petroleum product, the GST for the products will be one is your petroleum crude. Okay, for that the GST will be levied. When you have high speed diesel, then the GST will be levied. Then motor grid. Okay, that is, it's like a petrol. For that, the GST will be levied. And for your natural gas, the GST will be levied. And for aviation lubricant fuel, the GST will be levied. So these are the products which will be covered GST under your petroleum products. Okay, so for these particular five petroleum products, the CGST will be applicable by the GST. Okay, next one is how the CGST reversal charge will be based, we will see. Okay, next one is CGST reverse charge basis. Okay, so this CGST reversal charge basis as classified under section 9, subsection 3. Okay, and this CGST reversible charge is also given by your government notification. In that government notification, it specifies that any goods or services or both in which the CGST is to be paid or reversal by the recipient of the goods or services. Basically, this reversal charge means where the liability of the pay tax by the recipient of supply of goods or both individual of suppliers of goods or services or both. That is reversal in the sense liability for paying a tax that will be considered as a reversal charges. Okay, so that reversal charges will be applicable for both goods and services, or it is applicable for both also. Okay, so that is under reversal charges. And in case of reversal charges, whether it is a registered supply or unregistered supply, both are eligible for getting the reversal charges of the GST. Okay, so this is all about the provisions related to levy of collection of CGST. Okay, next we will see the uh, composition level of GST. Okay, so the provisions related to composition of CGST is, first one, we will understand what is mean by composition scheme. Okay, so basically composition schemes is nothing but it is an optional scheme which is eligible for tax person. Okay, so whoever is covering under GST. Okay, so for them this composite schemes will be given. Okay, so composite scheme is like a optional scheme which is given to the person who is paying the GST. Okay, and who is eligible under the composite scheme is whose average turnover is not less than 75 lakhs and who are registered under the GST, for them this composition levy will be given. Okay, so the eligible taxpayer will be, he should be a registered person under GST and whose turnover will be more than 75 lakhs or not less than 75 lakhs. For them this composite leveling will be given. Okay, and how they take this aggregate turnover will be, uh, they have, for aggregate turnover they have certain provisions. The first provision is all taxable supplies will be taken. All taxable supplies means whatever the transaction which they took, that all transaction values that should not be exceed 75 lakhs. Next one, in that over uh, calculating the overall taxable value, they will take some exemption supply. Certain goods will be exempted. So what is the exempted goods that they will take? Third, in that supply, what are the goods which are exported? Okay, whether the goods are exported or whatever the goods are, goods and services which are exported, so that will be considered. And what are the interstate supply they have taken? Okay, so from all the above, okay, so from all the above they will be considering for the average turnover. Okay, so when they take average turnover they will take all this, whatever the supplies they have taken, what are the exemption goods they have, what are the goods which is accepted, and what are the interstate supplies they have. From all these four, the overall turnover should be of above, so not less than 75. If it is there, then you will be considered as a composite uh, levy. Okay, and in case of taking aggregate turnover, what are the things will not be included? If you pay any central sales tax or any state tax, or if you pay any union territory tax or integrated tax, or if you pay any cess, so these things will not be form part of your aggregate turnover of your composite levy. Okay, so this is all about the composite levy. And how the rates of the composite levy are given? See, basically rates of the composite levy are given under your section 10 of your GST Act. Okay, so under composite levy for manufacturer, the GST rate will be, CGST rate will be 1% of the turnover, and for CGST it is 1%. So total rate for the manufacturer will be 2% of the turnover. Okay, if you have any restaurant service, then in that case your rate will be 5%. Okay, in that CGST will be 2.5 and SGST will be 2.5. Okay, and if you're doing any other supplies means which is not form part of manufacturing or restaurant, in that case your tax rate will be 1% and you can take a half of CGST and uh, SGST. Okay, and what are the components which is not form part of the composite scheme we have to see? Okay, that is non availability of component scheme. See, component scheme is not available for the five categories of registered person. One is if you are doing any supplies of services for other than restaurant service. Okay, if you are not doing restaurant service, okay, then in that case you will not eligible for composite scheme. Or if you're supplying any goods, okay, and the goods which is not taxable under GST, okay, so in that case also you are not eligible for composite scheme. Or if you are doing any interstate supplies, okay, then also you are not eligible. And if you're supply any goods for electrical operation, then also not eligible for composite scheme. And if you're manufacturing any specified notified goods means for any special cost, if you're um, manufacturing any goods, then in that case also you are not eligible for the composite scheme. So these are the five categories under which you will not get the composite scheme benefits. That means where the combined benefits you will not receive. Okay, so what are the cases other than restaurant? Okay, where the supplies for non-taxable, interstate supplies, if you are supplying any electronic operations or any special notified goods if you are manufacturing. So these are the five categories where you will not get your um, composite schemes. Okay, next one is What is the lapse of composite scheme if the agreed turnover exceeds 75 lakhs? Suppose if the time period for the composite scheme was exceed sorry, if the time period of the composite scheme has been exceed more than 75 lakhs, so what is the provisions available? So uh, if you're covering more than 75 lakhs, then you will not get the benefits of the composite schemes. Okay, that covers under your section 10 subsection 3 of your GST acts. Okay, and next one is non-availability of input tax credit. Okay, so uh, non-availability of input tax credit means who will not get the input tax credit. Okay, so input tax credit will not be availed by the taxable person uh, who is getting the composite scheme. Suppose if you're claiming any GST return under the composite scheme, then in that case you cannot claim the input tax credit. Okay, so what is input tax credit, that we will see it in the next class. Okay, so in case of tax refund, okay, you can either get the composite scheme redemption, or you can either get the input tax credit, but you cannot simultaneously get both taxable return as well as your input tax credit. Both you cannot get. Okay, you cannot get both of it. Okay, so this is the non-availability of tax credit. Okay, so I'll stop here. We will see what are the provisions related to the eligible limit for composite scheme. Okay, basically, if you want to get any claim under composite scheme, your aggregate turnover should not be more than 75 lakhs. Okay, suppose if it is more than that, then what is the provision, and which are the places where the composite scheme will be lesser than 75 lakhs, and how you can claim that. Okay, and what are the different rates in the um, GST we will see, and we will also see some terminologies related to the GST, like what is mean by capital goods or what is mean by input tax credit and all. We will see it in the next lecture. Okay, so I'll stop here. I'll take your attendance.